Imagine you open your eyes, and somehow you have traveled 1,000 years into the past. You wake up in Medina. Morning sunlight enters through the wooden shutters. There are no cars, no phones, no electricity. Outside, an ancient city is slowly waking up. Your mother is already preparing a simple morning meal. On the table are dates, honey, olive oil, and barley bread. Foods known and valued in the prophetic tradition. Dates were especially important, and the Prophet Muhammad encouraged their use. Honey and olives are also mentioned in the Quran.
Simple foods from the Sunnah, full of timeless wisdom. Simple.
You step out of the house with your mother, and together you walk toward the market. The narrow streets of old Medina are already coming to life. As you reach the market, you see small stalls filled with dates, grains, spices, pottery, woven baskets, fabrics, and handmade goods. Camels move slowly through the market carrying goods, while merchants prepare their stalls and people walk through the busy pathways. You stay close to your mother, looking around with curiosity. Everything feels simple, lively, and completely different from the world you know. As you walk a little further through the market with your mother, you notice a group of craftsmen working beside their small stalls. Some are carving wood, others are shaping tiny decorative pieces by hand, and every detail is made slowly and carefully. You stop for a moment and watch them closely. Their patience and skill fascinate you. A little further ahead, you notice a woman sitting beside the road, working carefully with mud. With only her hands and a few simple tools, she shapes tiny walls, clay pots, a little well, and beautiful details inspired by the world around her. You slow down and watch her closely. As an artist yourself, you immediately become fascinated by her technique. You study the way she turns ordinary mud into something so detailed and beautiful. It gives you a new idea, maybe, I can take inspiration from this traditional craft and create something in my own style. You continue walking with your mother, but the idea is already growing in your mind. After our long morning outside, my mother and I finally arrive home, carrying all the inspiration we found. Mom prepares a simple homemade meal, and we sit together to eat before starting our afternoon of art. After lunch, I bring out my wood and carving tools and begin my first project. Inspired by what I saw earlier, I decide to create Masjid an-Nabawi from wood. I carefully cut and shape each piece, building the walls and arches one by one. Then I add the smaller details, working slowly and patiently. With every new piece, my little wooden mosque begins to come to life. While I'm busy working with wood, my mother starts her own project beside me. She has always enjoyed working with mud, so she gently shapes the soft clay with her hands. Slowly, she creates a little mud house and mosque, adding tiny walls, windows, and simple details. We use completely different materials, but it's lovely to sit together and create. Once my mosque is finished, I begin a completely new piece of woodwork. This time, I want to carve the word Allah. I first carefully shape the wood, then work around each letter little by little. I smooth the edges and refine the details until the carving finally takes its beautiful finished form. By the end of the day, everything is finally finished. My mother and I sit together in the courtyard, with all our creations displayed in front of us. We look proudly at the wooden mosque, the Allah carving, and her little mud creation. What began as inspiration from our morning walk has turned into a beautiful afternoon of creating together. After our beautiful days in Medina, the time finally comes to continue our journey. My mother and I leave the city behind and travel toward Makkah, crossing the wide desert with the caravan. The road is long, quiet, and unforgettable, with nothing but sand, mountains, and open sky around us. As we get closer to Makkah, the excitement begins to grow. Then finally, we arrive at Masjid al-Haram and see the Kaaba in front of us. It is a moment we have been waiting for. Together, my mother and I begin our Umrah. We perform tawaf around the Kaaba, walk between Safa and Marwa, and complete our journey with hearts full of gratitude. From Medina, through the desert, all the way to Makkah, this becomes one of the most meaningful parts of our journey. My journey 1,000 years into the past is coming to an end. I walked through the streets of old Medina, watched the markets come alive, saw people creating with their hands, and imagined what life might have felt like in a world so different from ours. Then the journey continued across the desert toward Makkah, until finally, I stood before the Kaaba. That moment changed everything. For a little while, it felt as if time had disappeared. Medina, Makkah, the desert, the Kaaba, they were no longer just places from history. They felt alive. They felt close. And somewhere along the way, I understood why these places remain in the hearts of millions of people. Then suddenly, the dream was over. I opened my eyes and found myself back in the present, sitting quietly at my table, working with my hands once again. In front of me was the Kaaba I had been creating. The journey had ended, but the feeling had not. Maybe we can never truly travel 1,000 years into the past, but through faith, imagination, history, and the things we create, sometimes the past can still find its way back to us.